Whenever the universe is trying to give you a sign or a warning, please listen. There are so many things beyond our human comprehension, and we shouldn't take certain things for granted. My name is Maya, but this story is about my brother, Ethan. Ethan was a college student who lives 5 hours away from home, and during the weekends, he would drive 5 hours away from school to come and spend time with his family. And on Sundays, he would drive back to school. On this faithful Sunday, he was going back to school as usual. We had so much fun that week playing games, laughing, and just chilling as a family. When it was time for him to leave, he packed his bags, loaded the car with food and groceries my mom had packed for him, and he said his goodbyes. When he was about 2 hours into his drive back to school, his friends called him and asked if he was still in town. He said no, that he was already almost halfway to school. On hearing this, his friends started begging him to come back so they can spend time together. They said they never get to see him anymore or hang out with him anymore, that they had organized a nice get together and they would love to have him there. He tried insisting and telling them he was already almost halfway through and that he had important classes the next day. But his friends kept insisting, so he convinced himself that maybe it wasn't such a big deal. He could drive back, and when they were done, he would drive back to school before midnight and still be able to settle in and make it to class tomorrow. So he drove back and hung out with his friends. Everything was cool, and he had so much fun. It starts to get pretty late. It was a few hours close to midnight, so he decided it was time to start heading back to school. He really needed to get to school because one, his parent thinks he was already in school, and secondly, he had important classes. So he hit the road and he drove a few hours. He was halfway through at this point when he decided to stop at a gas station to get fuel and maybe some snacks for the road. It was around 1 or 2 a.m. at this point. When he got to the gas station, he saw an old woman sitting on the bench close to the entrance of the store, which he didn't really think anything of at all. He parked his car and started walking to the store. As he was approaching the entrance of the store, the woman stopped him and tells him he is in great danger and that there was a dark thing sitting at the passenger side of his car, that he cannot go back into his car, that he needs to figure out another way to get to where he was going. Ethan got really confused and scared. Then he told the woman, "Ma'am, I'm all by myself. There is no one else with me in the car. I am all alone." But even after saying this to the woman, she was still very persistent and firm. She kept telling him he shouldn't get back into his car and that there is a dark force, a very dark energy sitting at the passenger seat, and you cannot get back into your car. If you get back into your car, that would be the end of you. Ethan again tries to tell the woman it's okay. He's alone and he's fine. And when he finally walked into the store, the woman at the reception heard the woman talking to him and pretty much apologized and told him, "Don't mind that woman. She has dementia and says a lot of weird stuff to people sometimes. She always comes up with the weirdest stuff sometimes, so don't pay any attention to her." The receptionist apologizing and telling him she has dementia made him a little bit relieved. He pays for the things he bought, but as he was trying to walk back to his car, the old woman stops him again, and this time she was practically begging him and warning him not to get back into the car. She kept repeating that he was in grave danger, that his life depends on it. "Do not get into that car," she begged him. Her begging him really startled him again, and then he decided to call me. Thankfully, I was awake and he vividly explained the situation to me. I was so shocked he was still on the road when he was supposed to be at school. Our parents thought he was also at school. When he started telling me about the things the old woman had said to him, I didn't know what to say because I'm not the type of person to believe things like that. In our family, we don't really believe stuffs like that. But I told him that since he's feeling scared and worried, he should wait for me to come and pick him up, and we'll figure everything out in the morning. He was so concerned about how our parents would react and the classes he had that morning, and also me having to drive almost 3 hours to him and almost 3 hours back home. and then him having to drive again the next day. He felt it was going to be a lot. And I get it, the whole situation looks messed up, but I still insisted I could come and pick him up. And it won't be a big deal. If he's worried about his safety, that's enough reason to go through all of that. But Ethan insisted that he's fine and he will get to school in no time so he can make it to class that morning. He hung up the call and that would be the last time I would hear from my brother. Not long after the call, he got into his car and he crashed into a tree head on. No one understands what happened or what caused it. That morning, Maya was sitting on the table having breakfast with her mom when her mom received a phone call, and after a few minutes, her mother screamed so loudly and she dropped the phone. That call was the police calling that Ethan had been in an accident and had passed away. As sad as the whole situation was, what's crazy was the fact that when they went to see the crash site, the side where Ethan was sitting was totally destroyed, but the side where the woman had said the evil force was sitting had no scratch. That side was totally safe. Everything happened on Ethan's side. Till this day, Maya isn't exactly sure what that thing was, but she's sure whatever it is, it was the reason her brother is no longer with us. Wow, this is so spooky and sad, actually. What do you guys think? Do you guys believe in things like this? What would you have done actually if you were Ethan? What would you have done? Would you have listened to the woman and decided not to get into the car anymore? What would you have done? I think the receptionist woman made it worse, because if when the woman had warned him before he entered the store and when he came out, the woman said the same thing, I think he probably had listened if the receptionist did not say, oh, she had dementia and she's always saying funny things. I think he would have listened. Just so sad. I don't know what I would have done, honestly. I don't know. But I think I would have just waited because I'm like, it's better safe than sorry. It's always better to be safe than sorry. What do you guys think? Have you ever been in any situation related to this, or you know somebody that has? I don't know, just let us know so that if anybody encounters something like that, they would listen and probably pay attention. Well, if you've watched to this point and you're wondering who I am, hi, my name is Benari Bello, and I hope you enjoyed this story. If you want to join the family, click on the subscribe button. When you do so, you automatically become a judge here. So you judge matters, you give your take, and you give your advice. Thank you for watching to this point. See you in the next video. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like and share to your friends so they could also come and listen. So that next time, if somebody's saying them something, they would listen. Just kidding, but honestly, share it to your friends and your family. Thanks for watching. Bye. I love you guys. See you in the next episode.